Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Larkin, one half of the S&M Show podcast, and I'm back today with another interview. I am on the line with Lingerie Fighting Championship LFC fighter Serina Honeypunch Kyle. Very happy to have you on the show today, Serina. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm doing great.
All right, awesome. Now, I gotta say right now, and first and foremost, I've seen what you guys have been doing with LFC. As a fan of both mixed martial arts and professional wrestling, what you guys are doing with MMA, besides being the beautiful women that you are, a lot of great fights and a lot of great hardworking individuals. I gotta say, I love what you guys have been doing at LFC.
Thank you, and we love doing it. It's definitely a passion of each and every one of us.
Now, I first wanted to start off by asking, how did you get involved with LFC and talk about the whole process getting into the LFC?
So originally, I actually wanted to do the lingerie football, but I got a hold of some people, and they asked me if they had just started up the LFC. They'd only had one fight before my premiere, and I said, sure, I would be willing to give it a try, and just been going ever since.
Nice. And what I got to say about this is, so I look at LFC, and unfortunately, I've read a couple articles. I keep up with you guys in your upcoming events, but a lot of people, I got to say this, I think I had this conversation with Desi Dorada. There's a lot of people that you guys get a lot of criticism from, like, actual MMA fighters, like, oh, you know, these girls are in the lingerie and blah, blah, blah. And I got to say, I don't think really that matters. I think it accentuates, again, your beauty and just accentuates you as fighters because you girls work hard and all that. So, yeah, I've seen you guys get a lot of criticism, and I'm like, come on, just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I know, and it's not like we're super different from, even if you're watching WWE, like, yeah, they have a little bit more clothing, but at the same time, they're still in showy accessories and sparkly bras, and it's not that much different than what we're doing from my point of view anyways.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think that's the problem. I think everybody just needs to, like, chill and just enjoy what it is. But then again, the society we live in today, everybody's got something to say. So
Oh yeah,
so yeah,
exactly. Some people, they'll just pick you apart no matter what.
yeah,
You can't please everybody, but that's not what we're looking to do anyway. So
exactly. Now I got to say this as well. We'll touch upon LFC as well, but I've seen you do a lot of things as far as snowboarding goes as well. I specifically wrote that in my notes because I know you call yourself you're the snowboard ninja. I've seen you doing your thing on Instagram,
yeah.
where you're on the mountains, and you're very big into snowboarding. Where did that passion for snowboarding come from?
Oh, I was super young. As soon as I first seen it, somebody snowboarding on the mountain, I think I was like 14, and I was like, that's what I want to do. It was really, really hard to start. Like, to get good at snowboarding was incredibly difficult, but it was so much fun. Same thing as the wrestling, actually. Just takes a lot of hard work, but if you're passionate about what you're doing and you give it 100%, then you'll get there.
And I think what's also great about you is I can tell you're a very hardworking and driven individual, and you're very big on fitness as well, because you're very big on just being lean and just going out there, exercising. Like I said, the mountains, snowboarding. You're very in tune with your whole overall as a being. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I grew up on a farm, so I think it's just kind of hardwired into me. I don't like to be idle. I mountain bike, longboard. I just started getting into skateboarding, so I just like to be outside and doing stuff.
Now, from checking out your bio, originally I believe, well, you mentioned farm. I believe you're originally from Indiana, and now you're in Canada, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Now, talk about that transition. Growing up, as like you mentioned, on the farm, and then going over to Canada. Talk about the transition, the whole move from Indiana to Canada.
Oh, it's weird, but it's a lot of fun. Like I said, the snowboarding, it's a lot easier to access here, and it's the Canadian Rockies have just been so fantastic. They just pushed me to do so many different things, and the weather, it was really different getting used to Canadian weather. The heat versus the like minus 40 sometimes here Celsius is just crazy. Had to buy a whole new wardrobe.
Oh boy. All right. I have to mention this as well. We talk about, your fights with the LFC. You've gotten in there with Maxine the Boss Frost, Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre. Talk about working those two individuals.
Talk about what? Sorry?
Oh, sure. I'll repeat it.
Talk about those two?
Yeah, Danielle
Talk
Cowbell
about
St.
the
Pierre.
individuals themselves?
Yeah, just talk about working with them and the
Well,
overall experience. Yeah.
well, I'm not really a catty person, and you know what? Usually most of the wrestlers I really get along with, but Maxine was one of the ones that she was just kind of I don't know, we just never ever clicked. The second we started, even before our fight, she just didn't like me for whatever reason. And I'm the kind of person that, like, unless you have a reason to not like me, then you should at least give me a chance. And she didn't even do that at all. So that helped fighting her, because then I was like, you know what, you're kind of a bitch, so I'm going to enjoy this.
And you got Danielle St. Pierre, and I got to say, I really did enjoy those fights. I thought you guys really did work hard. I know you said you didn't click with Maxine, but I thought you guys really did put in the work. And also with Danielle, I mean, again, another tremendous fight, another tremendous competitor. So talk about working with Danielle.
Danielle, she was a lot different because she just has so much more reach than I do. It was like fighting a giraffe. It was different. Like, when we have two totally different fighting styles. So like when we were in the ring together, it was an adjustment. With Maxine, I could kind of like tell a little bit what she was going to do before she was doing it or while she was doing it, and I can make the adjustments. Whereas with Danielle, it was kind of like, I don't know what the frick is going on right now. So it was a lot more like, it felt a lot more scattered for me, but that was good for a fighter, like making my own style around what everybody else's was. It was good to fight somebody that kept me on my toes.
Got you. And I also wanted to touch base upon the transition between MMA and wrestling, because a lot of people, they think about how it was now recently. You had like Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, who's going into the UFC Hall of Fame. We recently saw CM Punk have his second fight in the UFC. Yes. And we also, if you even think about it, it actually goes back to like the 90s as well. You think like Ken Shamrock. You think of guys like Tank Abbott. You think of guys like Dan Severn. Then obviously Ronda, Brock Lesnar, the whole nine. But I gotta ask you, what do you think? Yes. So, what do you think about the whole transition between MMA and wrestling?
Well, I super got into UFC because I like I've always really been into martial arts, and I feel like UFC has more of that aspect to it. Like it's more of a, I want to say ninjas fighting each other in the ring, whereas wrestling, it's more of a showy thing. So I grew up on WWE, like WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan, The Rock. That was when we were kids, man. That was the shit. And I really like how they put on a big show, and they always have, just the way that they go at it in wrestling is so entertaining, but it's on such a different level than UFC. So it's a neat combination. I think our LFC is a nice mix of everything.
And I think that's what's great about it too as well, because like you said, the mix of MMA and wrestling, like I've said this to a lot of you guys, the thing is, there's like the common debate that you see a lot with MMA and wrestling. Oh, MMA is, it's real, and obviously wrestling is predetermined, which duh. But you still, there's the risk factor, obviously. But the thing is, I was one of those guys. I was like, I like both. I think both aspects, people work hard. People
me too.
Exactly. So people work hard, and people, they go out there and feed their families. And it's just, it's like the debate, like I said, we go back to that point that everybody's got an opinion and everybody's got to say something, which is just like...
Yeah, exactly.
Which is just like, yeah.
I hate it when people take that away from wrestling. It's like, yes, it is predetermined, but they put in so much work and effort to put on a good show, and they deliver. And it's not like the things that they're doing aren't dangerous. If you ever jumped off a ladder on your side onto somebody else, like, that's not something that comes easy.
I think the best example of that is, I think it was during one of the Dudley's Edge and Christian matches, and JR goes, "How do you learn to fall off a 20-foot ladder? You don't." like it's like, come on.
Exactly. It's just, and that's what I loved about wrestling. It's so much fun to watch. I did not give two fucks when I found out that it was all predetermined. I was like, I'll still watch it. Still, those people, they know what they're doing, and they're fun.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little personal thing about me, because when I was a kid, like, as far as the wrestling aspect goes, I started in watching wrestling when I was 10, so this is 2002, and this is what people define wrestling as, like, the ruthless aggression era, because this is when guys like John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, and all these guys, and Brock Lesnar were coming onto the main roster, so I was kind of on the out with the Attitude Era, and don't get me wrong, I went back and watched the Attitude Era, one of the greatest time periods in wrestling, but... Everybody was kind of like, wrestling was kind of on the decline because, WCW was out of business, ECW was out of business, and the WWE was the only game in town. And yes, obviously at an early age you find out, yes, it's predetermined, but again, It's just athletes that go out and, work hard. And I was one of those kids like you who I don't care if it's predetermined. I'm going to watch it anyway. I like it. I respect the guys and gals that do what they do. Exactly. And it's
exactly.
That's the problem. And then I look at the MMA.
If you watch even their faces while they're doing it and when they're screaming at each other and stuff, you just can't help but get sucked into it. It's like when you go to a movie, you're not like, oh, well, this is all just fake. Well, yeah, it's fake. It's still a movie. It's still entertaining. You're still here to watch people do what they're good at.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, suspending your disbelief is also the big thing about it, too. Just suspending your disbelief, which obviously is a common denominator in it. So another thing I got to ask you about is, so we talk about the wrestling aspect and the MMA. Before I get to that, I think I mentioned the JR line to you, probably one of the best if you've ever seen in the 80s. Do you remember John Stossel, the infamous clip where he slaps the living bejesus out of John Stossel gets the living bejesus slapped out of him by Dr. D. David Schultz for pretty much calling wrestling fake. I don't know if you ever seen the clip back in the 80s. It's a classic clip.
I wasn't around in the 80s, but yes, I do remember seeing they would pull that up on highlights all the time.
Okay, yeah, I had to mention it. I wasn't born in the 80s. I'm a 90s kid. I'm born in 92, so I totally understand. But I still, the first time I saw it on YouTube, I about died because I had this discussion with someone in the wrestling business, and I'm like, the problem with that whole scenario is you got a guy, who's trying to be a journalist and try to get like the nitty gritty about the sport, but it's just like you got a guy who you're pretty much disrespecting his profession by pretty much saying that word.
Oh, 100%.
And I was so for John Stossel getting the slap Jesus out of him. So I was just like, you know what? He could have worded it better, but the problem is it's disrespect, and it was handled accordingly.
Yeah, exactly. He had it coming, in my opinion.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm totally vibing off of this because it's just respect is key in anything in life. It doesn't even have to be in sports. Just respect is a key proponent and component in anything in life. And if you don't have respect and discipline, it's just like, come on. It's basics right there. It's basics 101.
Exactly. Then you don't deserve to be watching what we're doing because we put a lot of work into it.
Exactly. All right. Now, as a woman in MMA, and like I said, LFC, and in wrestling, you gotta feel good because the women's revolution or evolution, if you will, as far as both MMA and wrestling go, it's just great to see like the women just getting the time and the effort put in to showcase what they are. Besides, like again, the physical aspect of being beautiful, but just to show the athleticism and the raw talent that you guys all have.
Oh yeah, we put so much work into it, and you know what? For us, especially with the LFC, it's even a little bit harder because we have to do it. We have to be classy. We have to be strong. We have to be showy, all on top of everything. Like we need to, just exactly like us when we're in our fights, we need to make sure that we're not having anything like slipping out. Obviously, it happens sometimes, but we still want to be able to put on what we want to wear, and that's just so empowering for us to be able to do all of that all at once, which is one of the reasons I love the LFC so much, is because we shouldn't be ashamed of our bodies. We work hard for them. A guy can walk around in a park without a shirt off, and it's no big deal, but say a woman does that, then all hell breaks loose. It's just such a stereotype that we're really trying to change. And I think the world is getting a lot better for that, but it's taken some time.
It is, and I mean, I've seen you on there as well. Like I've mentioned, timeless in this form. You're a beautiful woman, and you show off what you are. And I got to say, you look great because it just shows not only your beauty, but it shows, like again, the aspect that you put the time and the work to look how you look. And that's what I'm saying. I really admire that about you because you're someone who really takes yourself seriously, and you care about, you just care about yourself. And as I said, you do a great job of taking care of yourself.
Thank you, and I do, and I'm proud of that. I work hard to look the way that I do. It has a little bit to do with genes, but still I eat healthy. I work out all the time. I work hard to learn new skills, kickboxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, everything, and you're constantly, as an individual, not even anybody that's in a professional sport, you should be pushing yourself all the time to be a better version of yourself. And I'm proud that I can show off my body, and I still expect people to treat me with respect. I still deserve it, and just because I want to walk around in my underwear every once in a while doesn't mean that I'm a bad person.
Absolutely not. And I got to say, man, you're talking about jiu-jitsu and kickboxing there. Man, I got to say right now, I definitely don't want to get on your bad side. My God, you're doing jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, the whole nine.
I would not recommend it, let me tell you.
I will tell you that. My goodness, yeah. So I got to say this as well, because we talk about another thing that's very common that we see in a lot of MMA and wrestling, the whole intergender aspect. And I know some people have like that 50-50. Again, it's people with their opinions. Oh, guys and girls and blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, you do realize that if you look at wrestling, besides the independent circuit and what James Ellsworth is doing with the whole intergender championship, playing off the whole 80s, Andy Kaufman like stuff, like when Andy Kaufman was alive, the whole intergender thing, Jerry Lawler. Yep. So the thing is too, Lucha Underground uses that a lot, very big with intergender wrestling, but it's just, again, another thing when people got something to say. And I mean, if you girls want to fight the guys, do what you do. God bless you. There's a lot of great intergender matchups and both fighting and wrestling, and I gotta say, you girls kick our butts.
And I totally 100% agree. It's both sides. If a girl wants to fight a guy and they have consent, then go for it. That's all for them. But I also agree that if a guy doesn't want to fight a girl, then that's still his right to say no. But again, he still needs to do it respectfully. Just like if a guy wanted to fight a girl and she said yes, go for it. But if she said no, then you'd respect that decision.
And you think, like, it's 2018, and you think, like, after all these years as far as history goes, that people would, possibly change and be a little more open-minded with some things, but unfortunately, stuff like that exists. And I'll give you another prime example. I've seen in wrestling, I had this individual on my show, the boy diva Rick Cataldo, very, very openly gay, which is fine. I have friends that are gay, and that's another thing. That's another thing. Like, he does the show A Matter of Pride. He just came off a match with Melina. He's supports gay rights and everything, and which I'm like, that's cool. Like, and that's another thing with this country is people are just so like meh about things. It's just like if that's their decision, that's what they want to do, and they're happy, leave them alone. Just let them be happy.
It's good for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to start picking apart all the little things, every single person's got something that's wrong with them. So if you go down that road, there's just no end to it, and that's just not the kind of people that we want to be. Exactly. Or we shouldn't want to be. Some people will never change, but as long as you're doing the best that you can do, that's all you can ask of yourself.
Now, I got to ask you this as well. As someone who does both MMA with the LFC and someone who does professional wrestling as well, do you have any advice for any guy or gal that wants to pursue a career in either both or just either one? If you had any advice to give them, what would that be?
Oh, my trainers have been so fantastic. Like, if you wanted to get into that kind of field, well, first figure out what's in your area. But no matter where you live, there's always something that you should be able to find that can get you into the door. And you just tell them, this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do. And just like I said before, if you are passionate about something, just dedicate yourself to it. You should be looking up stuff on the internet. You should be watching whatever there is available for shows. You should be training yourself physically and getting yourself mentally prepared you should be obsessed with something that you want to be good at, or else there's no point.
Exactly. And I'm going to say this to you right now. This is with the utmost, respect and my sentiments here. You're one of those girls that's very hardworking and driven in both MMA and wrestling and whatever that you do or pursue. So I just want to say this right now. I'm a big supporter of LFC and what you do as far as MMA and wrestling. I definitely want nothing but success for you going forward.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Truly, I do. And it's an honor to be on your show right now. It's great to have other people, instead of just jumping to judgments and conclusions, people like you that actually sit down and you listen and you look at things from everybody's perspective, not just closed-minded. So we really appreciate you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm going to tell you right now, anytime you want to come back on the show again for another interview, I'd be happy to have you.
Anytime, man. This has been fantastic. It's great knowing that other people actually want to know what I have to say it's an honor.
Please, it's a pleasure, and I've always said this, I love what I do, and I'm happy to support, and I'm happy to feature you, and I'm glad that we got to tell your story today as far as LFC. We talked a little snowboarding in there, just you overall as a person. So, Serina, it's been an absolute pleasure, but before we do close this out, I'm going to give you the floor. Please promote the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, promote LFC. Just, the floor is yours. Go right ahead.
Oh, you can get us on it, pretty much everything. We have girls that work so hard, and they have all of their you can check out the LFC Facebook page, and I'd really like to get more of everyone's individual profiles out there. There's a lot of us. If you search up our names, our hashtags on Instagram and on Twitter, you can follow us there, and we're always open to hear from our fans. We talk to them regularly, and it's everybody's been so great to us. We've had so much support, and I hope that we get a lot bigger.
Okay. Now, I was going to say this as well. Besides the social media, which will be in the descriptions, Serena, if you want to promote any LFC upcoming events or any events that you have going on as far as professional wrestling wise, you can please go right ahead and feel free.
You know what? We were supposed to have one in June in Miami, but that fell through. So we're actually looking to get a Jamaican show that's coming along, but we haven't set a date as of yet. So, but if you follow our Facebook page, then we always have shows up there.
Okay, so I'll tell you right now, everything, your Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LFC, everything will be in the description. Everybody check out Serina Kyle. Everybody check out LFC. Everybody check out just the MMA and wrestling scene. And just please support these great women at what they do. Now, one thing I have to ask you before we go. I love the Honeypunch name.
Yeah, of course.
I love the Honeypunch name. Serina Honeypunch Kyle. How did the whole Honeypunch go?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you use the Kimura a lot in your fights, but how did the whole Honeypunch thing come into fruition, that whole nickname?
Well, it was kind of an ongoing joke when we were first training that I would always smile when we were fighting. My coach used to give us a lot of heck. He's like, "You're fighting. You have to be aggressive. You have to fight him." I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm just having fun while I'm doing this." And he's like, "Okay, well, tough it up." And when we were picking our names, I was like, "Man, how am I supposed to compete with stuff like The Rock or Hulk Hogan? Like, they have such amazing names." So we put out a contest, and one of the people picked Honeypunch, and I was like, you know what? I like that because for me, it just represents just float like honey, nice and silky and fun like that, but sting like a bee.
I like that. I like that whole takeoff. I gotta say, that's a great takeoff. You're welcome. It has that whole Muhammad Ali aspect, but it's like with your own twist on it.
Thank you. I really like it too.
You're welcome.
It's just fun for me. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm having the best time of my life, I got to tell you.
Exactly. I can tell you're having fun, and that's really what it's all about. And I got to say, that's another thing you mentioned before we close out. You're a very lovely person. You're a very sweet person. But when you get in that friggin' ring, man, God, look out. Because I got to say, you're a tremendous athlete. And again, I really do wish you nothing but the best going forward.
Thank you. I will prove myself if I have to. You do not want to put me in a corner because I'll show you what I'm made of.
Exactly. And I'm Serena again. I'll leave you the floor. Any final words to the people?
I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that's gotten us as far as we've came. We have so much fun, and we really do put so much effort into what we're doing. And I think that given the right support and enough promotion, we could put on such amazing shows. Like, I think we've already proved ourselves that we can. So I'd really like to see us have at least 6 shows a year. Right now we're a little slower up on that. So I'd really like to get us more places. And I've had so much response from people in Canada, so I'm really pushing to have a show here in Canada too.
Well, I hope
and thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. I was going to say, I hope all that comes into fruition for you guys over there in Canada. And just, again, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to having you back on in the future. Thank you so much for your time today.
I will be. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mike Larkin, one half of the Steve and Mike Show. www.steveandmikeshow.com is up and running, where you can hear such shows as you're about to hear today. This is another edition of On the Mic with Mike. And as always, it's an absolute pleasure. She's one of my good friends, and she's one of my favorite people. I'm talking about LFC's sweetest, most vibrant fighter that I know. That being Miss Serina Honeypunch Kyle. Serina, how you doing?
Oh, you're too flattering, and I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. First and foremost, I just gotta say this, like, for real, you are probably one of the sweetest people that I know. Always so happy, so vibrant. There's never a dull moment with you. You always got a smile on your face. I dig that.
Oh, you know me.
I do.
And you just gotta make the best of what life throws at you, man. So I just try and remember to do that every single day.
That is true. Now, okay. See, a lot of stuff's been going on with LFC, so this is kind of like me. We're going to be talking, shooting the breeze on the latest upcomings and what's been going on with LFC. We're going to be talking about your career in LFC. We'll throw in some pop culture. So, people, I'm just going to say this. You're going to be in hell for a variety of a show today with this one between you and I. Because, well, first and foremost, we've done pop culture shows together. We've talked about LFC together. You and I'm just going to say this, and we were talking about this before we got on air. You're older than me, but you and I have to say, you and I like a lot of the same similar stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know. That's why we have such a good time together. We have a lot in common.
All right, now I have to start
And
on.
it's cool because your pop culture show kind of ties in a little bit to what we're doing anyways.
It
You know,
does.
with cosplay, kind of matches into the LFC theme.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys had the Halloween costume brawl, and I mean, when you're dressing up like you do, whether it be schoolgirls or what have you, I mean, that added a nice little element to that. So, I mean, hey, it does
Yep.
fit, yeah.
And if anybody hasn't checked out, I was actually just showing somebody today, Lauren Fogel, the animal. She does cosplay, and she is so badass. She makes me want to do it really bad.
Well, first,
It's super cool.
here's the thing about Lauren. Lauren is probably one of the toughest people in LFC, one of the most beautiful people in LFC, and whether she's dressing like, Harley Quinn or like Wonder Woman or what have you, she has some of the best cosplay outfits out there.
Oh, so cool. She is like my totally favorite. I wish that I had a chance to do some of that stuff with her. If we lived closer, we totally would.
And first and foremost, you actually just segued, Miss Serina Honeypunch Cow, because Lauren is actually back from injury. She came back at LFC 27 against newcomer Jezebella Fire Queen Marie. She picked up the win. We just saw her not too long ago against Jessie El Toro Santos, which was a great bout at LFC.
Yeah, that was a good fight. They're
was.
both so tough. I honestly I wouldn't have put money down on either one of them because they're both intense.
Well, you see, here's the thing with that. I think a lot of people, when you think of the two most intense people in LFC, you look at Jessie, you look at Lauren, what she does, and I mean, well, first and foremost, I think the music also encompasses it, because every time I hear Lights Go Out by Fozzy, which is her theme song, that always gets me pumped. But yeah, I mean, the entrances, and Lauren's always got that, like, war cry, which I think is also awesome. Every fight, she, like, screams before she does the fight. I think it's great.
She's so cool. She could be a Viking.
Could be. She really could be. Like, no lie. By the way, you want to know something that's actually funny about Lauren the Animal Fogel?
Of course I do.
All right. So I was talking to Lauren about this, and I was telling a lot of people, the LFC faithful, her friend from the LFL days, because for those that don't know, Lauren the Animal Fogel, before LFC actually competed in the LFL, which is the Lingerie Football League, now the former Legend, now the Legends Football League, excuse me. Her friend, who I just had not too long ago on the show, Ty Emery from Australia, who was on the Queensland's Brigade in the LFL, is actually interested in LFC. So put those two together from the LFL into the LFC. I think that's a hell of a tandem right there.
That would be amazing. And also, that's how I got into the LFC in the first place, is because I reached out because I wanted to play in the Football League, but it was too far away from me, and he offered me a job doing the LFC, and I said, you know what? Got to take the chance. If you're offered it, I'd rather try it and not like it than not try it at all, and I ended up loving it. So, funny little fact.
That's awesome. Well, actually, it's actually the first time you mentioned this, because when you and I've talked, I've always knew, like, okay, like, you have, like, the different art forms that we like that really encompass LFC, like wrestling, MMA, jiu-jitsu, etc. But I did not know that fact. But yeah, with the LFL, okay, yeah. I dig that.
Yeah. And, I still would like to do, if I had the chance, I would still like to try it, even though I'm a lot smaller, so I'm more of, like, I think this suits me a little bit better than the football, but that's actually how I didn't even know about the fighting league until I looked into the football league.
You know what's funny about that, too? Like, one of the actual alumni of the LFL is Summer Rae, a.k.a. Danielle Monet, who went on to the WWE. And a lot of people that actually you see in, like, sports, like whether it be wrestling or whatever, have actually gone on to, actually got their start from the LFL, because that's the most common misconception, like with LFC. Oh, it's girls in their lingerie, it's not real football. But I'm like, have you actually seen those bouts that you've seen in the LFL? Jesus.
I'm kind of glad that I didn't get into it, because it is so intense. Like, if they just, you got to watch it. I'm not even going to give anything away. It's worth checking it out if you haven't already. I mean, I know you have, but for the listeners.
Totally understand. Well, actually, what's funny about that is the first time I actually saw the LFL, I think it might have been on MTV too, because as a kid growing up in New York, the channels on cable were 52 was VH1, 53 was MTV, 54 was BET, 55 was MTV2, 56 was Fuse. So right in a row was music channels.
You really are a 90s baby, hey?
Hey, man, hey. I remember,
I'm right up there with you.
Exactly. I remember Much Music, which used to be 56, but then it was Fuse, like Much Music, the countdown with songs like Soul Decisions, Ooh, It's Kinda Crazy, Snow, and Everybody Wants to Be Like You. I mean, come on. We'll be here all day talking about that.
Oh, yeah. Throwback, man.
By the way, speaking of throwback, Miss Pop Culture Nerdess, as I like to call you, my fellow pop culture nerd, did you see what song just actually turned 20 years old not too long ago?
Oh Oh my God, I don't want to hear this. It's gonna make me feel old. What song?
Mandy Moore's debut single, I'm Missing You Like Candy.
I would come out to that song. That would be hilarious. Don't you think that would suit me for a fight?
Okay.
That would be really funny.
Well, funny story, because I remember this as like one of the first ever indie wrestling shows I went to. All right, and this actually ties into WWE now. So you know Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, who are in the WWE?
Yep.
Okay. Do you know when they used to wrestle for the New York Wrestling Connection on Long Island, New York? Do you know what theme song was their theme song on the independent scene?
No.
It was Backstreet Boys. It's gotta be you off the Millennium album. They came out to the Backstreet Boys.
Oh my God, that's just embarrassing. I am a 90s girl, but I was never a Backstreet girl.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second.
How does that even suit that? Oh man, that's too funny.
Here's how that happened, because Zack Ryder is a huge fan of the Backstreet Boys.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow, you learn something new every day.
Well, here's the thing.
And that's not even new. That's old.
Exactly. Well, the Backstreet Boys are still killing it. I mean, they were in my neck of the woods twice. They were in them at the Barclays Center on Long Island not too long ago, and I believe they're going to be in Raleigh real soon here in the Carolinas.
Yeah. For how old they are, like they're like Jennifer Aniston. You're like, you should look a lot older than you do right now.
I know. And well, here's the thing. Doesn't that kind of like say something though, when it's like you guys are legit the old guys at the club now, but you still are everybody still jams to you, still tour. Well, look at that. You had Backstreet Boys, you had 98 Degrees. They're still doing shows, and Justin Timberlake and NSYNC, we haven't seen like an NSYNC reunion since like the VMAs, but still, and I mean they do appearances, but you never see like a new NSYNC album coming out.
Huh. Yeah, you know what? I never thought about it until just now, but you are totally right.
Yeah, and I mean, but yeah, Mandy Moore's Candy. First of all, that song is so upbeat. That song's so upbeat. It's 15-year-old Mandy Moore talking about I'm missing you like candy. She's going to the diner. They're at the skate park.
15?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And now you're feeling even more older?
Yes, now I feel even older.
Well,
I may look like I'm 15, but...
Well, stop it right now with that. I look like I'm 15. You're fine.
I still get ID'd literally everywhere.
Oh my! You know what's funny?
I'm 28. Like I'm covered in tattoos. I think people would get it, but whatever.
All right, we'll talk about our inkage as well, because tattoos is actually a topic that we're going to talk about today.
It's one of my favorite topics, so you bring it on,
buddy. But I'm 28. I got tattoos. I'm inked. I'm cool. I'm rad. I got something to say to you, because funny story about actually with ages. When I first started at my marketing job when I was back in New York, right? All right. They had to like check my ID, because so I'm getting this job like straight out of high school, right? Like I just graduated high school. I'm going to work at this place, right? And they looked at me and they're like, "Are you really 18?" And I'm like, "Yes. It says so on my ID, 1992." And
on my legal ID.
On my legal ID, thank you very much. And they're like, "Well, you look like you're 16." I'm like, I just graduated high school. I'm like, hello. You can look at somebody's ID, but all right, I guess I look 16.
You're smart enough. You could probably fake your own ID if you wanted to. I probably would ask you as well.
I could, but I didn't, just because I'm a good kid. I'm a good kid. But no, man. Yeah. I mean,
sure. Let's say that.
Whatever. Anyway, bad influences aside, kids, don't fake your own ID. Don't do that. You can if you want, just for fun. You'll be like McLovin and Superbad. Who's gonna believe you're a Hawaiian organ donor?
That's really pop culture now. That's too funny.
Well, now we got, what's that new movie that's coming out? You know, the
Oh, the one that's actually called Bad Kids, isn't it?
Yeah, Bad Kids. Like Bad Kids and like these kids in middle school.
I want to see it. Who made it? Seth Rogen, wasn't it?
Yeah, Seth Rogen is the one behind that. Yeah, and I'm like, how can you follow up Superbad? I mean, it's 12 years later, but now you got these middle school kids like trying to go to the party, being all bad. And I gotta say, I'm kind of intrigued though. It looks fun.
You know what? He's still doing what he loves, and he is enjoying the hell out of it. And he makes some pretty funny movies. I'll give him that. I would love. I wish we could have like a celebrity bout. Like, you know, who is it? It's Jen. Jen wanted to fight Justin Bieber. Didn't she call him out?
Yes.
Oh, that would be just epic.
So for those who are not unaware that are listening, Jen, the Real Deal rep, who just actually had her fight at LFC 26, made her debut. Unfortunately, Terry wasn't able to compete, but she won by forfeit, disqualification, not the win that she wanted to get, but Jen, the real deal rep, is right now 1-0 in LFC. We saw her as
Hey, a win's a win. You take it.
I was about to say, a win is a win is a win is a win. But
she trains really hard. I love her, by the way, just sidebar. She is amazing, and she is my number one. Continue.
That's okay. She's one of my number one, too. I mean, the real deal nickname suits Miss Jen Rep. Like, she is, like, legit real deal.
100%.
But you see the thing with Jen?
And she fights really hard. I trained with her, and, she kicks some serious butt.
Okay. Now, here's the thing with Jen, though. Like, she would kill Justin Bieber. Like, she legit would.
Oh, my gosh. It would be like, if she could get him in the right spot, it would be a total knockout.
And here's the thing. I've been wanting to beat the shit out of Justin Bieber ever since he first came out with Baby. And here's the thing. I know he's young, but I never liked the kid. And you know what it was? He just, as we saw as he got older, he just had that thing like, you know, you just wanted to punch him in the face, and then he was a jerk to people, and then he's just like an asswipe. And you know what I'm saying? And this is not like...
Yeah, like you're putting yourself in the public eye. If you really wanted to, you could buy a private island and you never have to see anybody ever again except for the people that you want to see. So... there you go.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Well, they actually, LFC ran with it. They made like a fun profile about Justin Bieber on the LFC website. So, I mean, they ran with it for a short time. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. That's for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I want to see more Jen in there. Jen did her thing.
Oh, do we know who she's going to fight next or when she's going to fight?
We don't know.
I would like to be there for that.
Me too. We don't know yet. But yeah, LFC 26 was the first bout with Jen against Terry Feisty Fist London. And as of right now, Jen was not on LFC 27, 28, or 29. But we have more new people coming. But people, Jen the Real Deal Rep. If you've not seen Jen the Real Deal Rep, I'm going to do you a solid. I'm going to put the link to her profile on the LFC page so you guys can know it.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. She's amazing.
And
I'm glad that I don't have to fight her because I've trained with her. You don't want to go there, trust me.
Well, you two are on the same team, aren't you? Yeah, I think you're both on the pink team.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't want to fight her because I've trained with her.
Okay, now
I'm not going to spoil her signature move, but yeah, it's not something to mess with.
By the way, you're like the segue queen so far, and we haven't even touched upon a lot of the basis in the show. But I got to ask you a question here because some of the best moments from the LFC reality show Exposed, and we're going to talk about this person because this person has been in a lot. I got to talk about, first and foremost, you and Holly the Lotus May are probably some of the best moments. You two are such good friends, talking about what lingerie to wear so there's no wardrobe malfunctions, because yes, that does happen. And then these bouts...
She's had my back from day one. If I had to pick one person who has been my mentor and I'm her trainee, it would be Holly. She's got my back and I got hers.
Okay, I had to touch upon this because you and Holly are like really, really close, and we got to learn that on the LFC. Yeah, so Now, what if you have to fight her now? Because as you know, she's on the black team now.
I don't think I could do it. If it came down to it, of course I would, and I would give it my best. And if I could beat her, that would be such like a milestone for me. But I don't want to. I don't know. It's just, yeah, she's my friend. She has been there for me, and she tempers me. I know you haven't seen it, but when I have got out of control a couple of times, and she's just like, she's so zen and like Bruce Lee. That's totally who she reminds me of, is just, she's like, get your shit under control and you'll handle it better. And she is awesome.
Now, as I'll be honest with you, I've had Holly on the show. She's probably one of the most, I'll be honest with you people, she's very intense, another intense fighter in the cage, but probably one of the nicest people outside of
but you don't want to cross her. She's definitely a person that, if you're on her bad side, she can make your life a living hell.
Now, this is good.
But it would be really hard to get on her wrong side because she's amazing.
Beautifully said. And this is where we say again, because guess who's been getting on Holly the Lotus May's bad side, Miss Serina Honeypunch Kyle?
Let me guess. Danielle?
No.
Oh, okay. Who then? I don't know.
Well, the pink team has been causing a stir because at LFC 27, Sexy, Nerded, Inked, and Curvy, we had a bout between the current reigning and defending LFC European champion, your fellow teammate, and one Jolene the Valkyrie Hex, against Monica Flowerbomb Garcia. Jolene got a little out of control. She unleashed the beast, would not let go of the hold on Monica Flowerbomb Garcia, and Monica won by disqualification. And Jolene, now, just for the record, Maxine the Boss Frost, who you have had bouts with, stepped down as LFC president, and Holly the Lotus May became LFC interim pres for a couple shows. So Jolene at this LFC 27 takes down Holly, puts her hands on the interim pres. She got suspended, and these last two shows we've seen her and Holly had a lot of confrontations. So there's a lot of fuel to the fire.
That's surprising to me.
What?
That is really surprising. I don't know. Just I know Jolene has a temper, but I could never see her getting on Holly's bad side. That is very surprising to me. I will have to check it out. It's on the show, right?
Yeah, it's on these last two shows for LFC 28 and 29, which you can check out, and I'll put the links to lingeриefc.com for all the listeners to check out and the fellow VIP members of LFC. But yeah, so there's a possible bout in the future with the continuation with Jolene and Monica Flowerbomb Garcia and with Holly the Lotus May.
That is an interesting twist, and I did not see that coming. And as somebody who's been on a lot of bus rides with them, that is totally a left wing for me.
Well,
that's why I can't miss the shows. I miss so much when I don't make it.
Well, here's the thing, because we're talking about shows here. And let me tell you something, Serina Honeypunch, Kyle. You have put on...
You tell me.
I'm going to tell you. You got to listen to what I'm saying.
Tell me good.
I will tell you very good, because... Your bouts with Maxine the Boss Frost, who I just mentioned there. I mean, here's the thing with you that's very interesting about your record. You've beaten Maxine. You've lost to Maxine. You've beaten Danielle. You've lost to Danielle.
I know. It's so frustrating. All over the place, man.
But your last bout was LFC 25, and that was the L to Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre, which, I'm going to say this. I did see that bout. I did enjoy that bout. And we're going to talk about someone else who was on that card in a second here. But Serina, here's the thing with you and Danielle. Because I've also seen the reality series. Like, besides yourself, and I truly mean this again, to reiterate, you're probably one of the nicest people I know. But I've talked to Danielle as well. Danielle is actually a very pleasant person. Another very intense competitor and a very dominating competitor. But Danielle is actually a very, very sweet person. She's very, very nice. But you two it's not like the stuff with you and Maxine, which we'll get to in a second, but with you and Danielle, it's just like, actually, Joel Kane is the one who stirred this up, because you two...
He's an instigator.
He is. You're on the elevator, and Joel's like, oh, Danielle, you're afraid that Serena's going to beat you again, and then you start, oh, yeah, Danielle, I beat you. Oh, you're not going to beat me again. And you two are, like, having, like, this little tiff. I won't even say an argument. It's like a little tiff. And so Joel Kane kind of stirred up the thing between you two.
Yeah, it was kind of a cat fight. That's moments where I definitely let my temper get away from me. Some people, they just know how to get under my skin. I don't know what it is that pushes my buttons, but those people, they just know exactly where to push. And man, does it ever... Stars and garters.
But like I said, it's not as bad as the Maxine one, because Maxine the Boss Frost, the former LFC pres, here's the thing with you, like,
Well, that just goes way back.
Yes.
That's like vintage.
Well, here's the thing with you, like, alright, if I could put this bluntly, she kind of dogged you, because, like, you have the Honeypunch nickname, she was putting you down, you're saying you're not doing well, but there was, like, intense stuff between the two. You two just were at each other.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, I couldn't even tell you. Like I said, there's just some people who just know where my buttons are, know where to push them. It's like, they just look at you the wrong way, and you want to rip their freaking nails out.
Well...
I don't know what to tell you.
It must feel good, though, because the last time you two fought, you won.
Yeah, that just lighted the fire right up underneath me. And that's kind of where Holly comes in, too. She's like, you got to rein that in and focus it. So that's what I did.
Well, here's the thing, too, because I'll be honest with you, as a fellow nice person, and that's the thing about nice people, because there's that old saying, don't mistake my kindness for weakness. Yes, we're kind, but you don't want to, ignite the flame, and that's what happens when you ignite the flame.
Yep. Float like a bee, but sting like one too.
That's where
the honey punch comes from.
Yes. And I made a joke, I think, the last time I talked to you, like, what are you eating, some honeycomb cereal, but the honeycomb was taken, you don't want to get that trademark. But no, in all seriousness, Serina, I mean, it's actually
serious.
It is. It's a very cool nickname, though, because,
I love it. I love it so much. I wouldn't take it back for anything, honestly. I think it's very unique, and I know I'm tooting my own horn here, but I didn't even pick it for myself, which is probably one of the reasons I love it so much. Somebody else put it to me, and I entered it in from a contest, and as soon as I seen it, I was like, yep, that's the one.
Well, two things. Number one, toot toot. You're tooting your own horn, toot toot. But that's the great thing about the LFC fans, though, because it gets a vote on nicknames and, these contests that you had. And, I mean, we got to see, like, the rise of Honeypunch. We got to see the rise of a lot of you girls, and that wouldn't happen, with the fans with the participation there.
Yeah, they've been fantastic. I've had so much support, especially with, I don't know if you know any of this, but, like, I'm a really strong supporter for feminism and nudism, which, we kind of all are. But, and the fans have just been great. They haven't been sexist or rude, and they've just been supportive and kind, and they understand that we should be able to do whatever we want, whenever we want, as long as we're not hurting anybody else or anything. We should be able to, be who we are without any judgment or harsh repercussions.
Exactly, and this also ties into, first and foremost, because you and I, besides being buddies in real life, Miss Serina Honeypunch Kyle, because we're buddies. I'll even say it. I'll steal your line. We're BFFs. We are. We're BFFs.
It's true. I'm just being a budding friendship, and I've been loving it.
Yes, me too. Feeling is mutual. But we're also social media buddies, and you and I, we talk Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole nine. Yo, what's up? The nude beach stuff I did see, and I gotta say this: you're one with nature. You're doing your thing. Can you tell us about because you mentioned feminism and nudism, which again, awesome. Tell us about the nude beach. Now, was this your first nude beach experience?
It was actually. So, as most people know, I moved to BC to be closer to nature because I've been kind of all over the place. But the things that I love to do in life kind of ties into the lingerie fighting. Actually, I like to just be out there and be pushing myself constantly. And I do mountain biking. I'm obsessed with snowboarding, and there's so much different fighting communities here, like jiu-jitsu. I just am looking for a Muay Thai class right now, and I said that wrong, but you follow me.
Yes.
And I have a lot of friends, and I have this friend who's in my kickboxing class, and she's like, oh, there's a new beach here, and I was like, let's go. So we actually went for a big hike. And then we came back down after we were all sweaty, and we jumped into the water and had a lot of fun with it. And it just, it feels natural.
It does, and
as it should be.
It is. Well, first and foremost, to quote the late great George Michael, I mean, I know he did sing "Sex is natural, sex is good," not everybody does it, or everybody should. But this will apply to this because you're one with yourself. Your body is your canvas. Your body is your temple, and you're just going out there, showing it off. It's a nude beach. One. It's like freedom. If you know what I'm saying, it's freedom. It's very refreshing.
Exactly. And it totally ties in with the LFC because that's all I want to be able to do. We should be able to do it whenever and wherever, and people should enjoy it, which I believe that they do.
So first and foremost, I'm just going to say this as right now. My mom, by the way, first and foremost, I always call her a hippie all the time because my mom legit is about peace and love, and she's a hippie. Not gotten to that extreme of nude beaches like yourself, but I will say this. You and my mom are on some hippie vibes.
Oh, I hope I get to meet her one day. Maybe tell her the next fight. You're going to be commenting it, right?
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, that hopefully looks to be the plan. Maybe some judging. But first and foremost, that's the best part with LFC because doing podcasts and doing the media that I do for you guys, I definitely, in the future, when it happens, it will happen. But know that Mike Larkin is always here to stay. So, yes, thank you for that wink, wink, nudge, nudge. My Honeypunch friend.
Just saying.
But no, man, I mean, here's the thing, though, because I dig that, and I dig the peace, love stuff, because, like I said, I remember, here's the thing, you remember Hair, like the musical Hair? Like that,
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so
reminds me, as soon as you say that, sorry, it just reminds me of the Glam. Is that the show, or Glow?
Glow, yeah,
wrestling show that was on Netflix. Anyways, continue, Hair.
Okay, so I saw that at New York City, and this was like one of the first musicals I saw, and first and foremost, very interactive, and you got girls like just rubbing your head, and just it's very peace-free. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a man. But god dang, a lot of beautiful girls on that thing. Anyway, I digress. The testosterone level just went up a little bit there from my side. I'm a guy, god dang nabbit. But no, I digress, man. It was a fun, it was very free-flowing, very free-spirited. A couple people actually from American Idol were in that play. I wish, in that musical, I forgot which two, but yeah, two of them were on American Idol. And it was good, and it was just very interactive. And here's the funny part about this: you want to talk about some freedom. Afterwards, like the end scene, right, where they're all dancing on the stage. Yeah. They bring one of the audience members up, and guess what?
What?
Tatas were flying from that lady who. And I'm just hilarious. Oh my god, this is great. But yeah, no, that's why it made me laugh and think of hair once. As soon as I said hippie, I'm like hair. Yeah, it just takes me back.
That's really funny.
It is.
Speaking of hippie, my biggest hippie friend is actually Jolene. So I don't live in Vegas. If I did, I would be going to a lot more shows, and I still am going to try and make it out for more. But Jolene, she's actually a pen pal of mine. Just the hippiness reminded me of it.
Okay.
And her cute hand tattoos. She is hippie through and through. Do you know, so when we were at the California show, she went out for a run just in the wilderness there, and she came back and she had a crystal the size of my head. And I was like, where on earth did you get that? And she just found it in the middle of a field as she was jogging. I was like, who does that happen to? That's some good karma right there.
It is, and here's
that's kind of why the Holly and Jolene thing just threw me off a little bit.
So with Jolene, yes, she is. By the way, I had this discussion in the last show we did. Very hippie, very hippie. With Jolene.
Yeah, so hippie. That's why I love her so much.
She is.
But it takes a lot to get on my bad side. So.
Exactly, and she is a badass, but she's also very sweet. And here's the thing. Last time I spoke with her, and first of all, I'd like to have you come to this just because she invited me to get some ice cream, and I think the three of us having some ice cream, I think yes.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
So,
amazing!
What's that?
Archer? That's an Archer reference?
Yes, okay.
Amazing!
Yes, amazing. Okay,
Pop
yes.
culture thrown in there.
Yes, I just...
Phrasing! Continue. Yes. We have fun here.
We do. But, so what happened afterwards, so this also takes me back to Jolene for a second, because here's where the ice cream comes in. So Jolene beats up she's a relatively newcomer. Her name is Gypsy Top Shelf Bay. And Gypsy's relatively new, so what happened with... she was supposed to fight a fighter by the name of Shea Golden. Shea Golden no-showed training, so Jolene got in there, and she was planning on flashing the crowd. There was a thing that happened there. You'll see it at LFC 28 for those that see. So she comes in and just beats the living bejesus out of poor Gypsy Top Shelf Bay. She had well, here's the thing with Gypsy. She had a rough 2 nights, because LFC 28 she fought Jolene. The next night she fought Lauren. So, I mean, she had a rough 2 nights.
That is pretty rough.
That's pretty
2
rough.
2 in a row, that's really intense, by the way. If you've ever done it yourself, and if you haven't, it is not, it's fun, but you feel it after that. You're not doing anything for the next 5 days, let me tell you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen, what the training...
for them.
Well, yeah, what the training has done for, all you ladies, and, with the boot camp and just everything. I mean, that's the thing, the other common misconception, and we've talked about Greg Frito training you ladies for LFC 25, and their Syndicate MMA. There's a lot of facilities in the Las Vegas area that helps you ladies when you're going into those fights, and that's what I'm saying.
Many.
Exactly. And people just don't understand that.
All the trainers are great. And I don't know if you've talked about this yet, but I get a lot of questions from fans when I see them where, they ask me on social media. They're always like, well, it's so, sexual. Do you ever feel uncomfortable? I've never once in my entire LFC career been pushed to do something I wasn't comfortable with or felt uncomfortable. All our trainers, yes, usually they're men, but they're amazing, and they're so respectful, and they are diligent, and all they're thinking about is how to make us better fighters and how to protect ourselves. And even from the fans, I've never been put in an uncomfortable position. So I just want to make that clear as well. We've been treated very nicely, and we are incredibly spoiled.
Well, here's the thing with that. They should, because, you girls, I'm saying, there's a lot of shit that goes into this. But, for real,
so much in the background.
Of course. And what Joel works his ass off. I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, Joel works his ass off, even though he's very funny and he's a very entertaining human being, and he can be an instigator. And we talk trash about Joel, but we give a lot of love to Joel. Leon Hader as well, but with Leon Hader, there's some stuff that's been going down with a certain coach of the black team. Did you hear about this, Miss Serina Honeypunch?
No, I did not. You should fill me in.
Poor Leon.
I'm out of the loop. I moved.
I
Keep
know.
me updated, man. Come on.
I'm about to keep you updated, man. Here's what happened. Doggone Leon Hader got suspended. Now he's back. Here's the situation. There's about LFC. Yeah, what's the sitch? I'm about to call Kim Possible. There's a throwback for you and I. Okay.
There we go. What's the sitch?
I'm going to tell you the sitch. So, Leon Hader, coach of the black team, there was a bout with Shelly Aphrodite da Silva, who Shelly Aphrodite da Silva, as you and I both know, has a history of spitting and biting her opponents. Took on a relatively newcomer by the name of Tomiko the Temptress Tajima, who, by the way, she is...
Good God, what a name.
I know. And doggone, she's on your team. Tomiko's on your team.
I know.
So
that's awesome.
So Tomiko is relatively new. She debuted at LFC 26. Hell of a bout with Shelly, but Shelly got the victory. And afterwards, Tomiko was just going to shake her hand. Shelly spit on her hand, and a full-out brawl game in. And now here's the thing here. Jesse El Toro Santos, who's on the black team, was the guest coach for the pink team since Joel wasn't there. So Jesse's trying to break this up because Jesse's helping train and coach these girls. And she's helping Tomiko, but friggin' Leon throws Tomiko across the cage. He throws down Jesse, who's on his own team, and Leon got suspended for this.
Well, you can't be throwing girls around.
I know, and I'm just
I can't say I necessarily disagree with that decision.
I don't disagree with either, but I'm just like, yeah. So this was like the one time we saw Leon, like, lose it. Yeah. And
Leon Unleashed.
Leon Unleashed. And now he's back, and the funny thing that came from this is Tomiko the Temptress Tajima had a little restraining order on Leon Hader. She can't be in...
No.
Yes.
Dramatic.
Yeah, but...
Well, good for her, though. She's sticking up for herself.
Exactly. So that was the latest...
Coolest name ever, by the way.
The Temptress?
So anime.
Yes.
Tomiko.
Yep. She's a big Mortal Kombat
really
fan,
cool.
by the way. She's a big Mortal Kombat fan.
Oh, shut up.
Yes.
You're totally going to have to do a cosplay together.
Yes. So, Tomiko, do some cosplay with the girl, Serina Honeypunch Kyle. Hook it up.
Yeah. Let's make it happen, girl.
Now, here's the thing. Like, I tell you that you're out of loop, but you technically speaking, like, with you, and I want to ask you about this because, I'll be honest with you, you're a vet. You truly are. You're a straight vet. You, Allie Baby Doll Parks, you are. Here's where I group everybody in with this. So, Allie Baby Doll Parks, Jesse El Toro Santos, and Andrea the Stormblood Doy, which we'll get to Andrea in a second because something big just happened with Andrea. They were all coaches. Like, they were doing, for a lot of these events, for the black team and special guest coaches, filling in for Leon, filling in for Joel, right? So, personally, being a vet that you are and using your pearls of wisdom, I'm going to say this. If you're not in a fighting capacity, I'd love to see Serina Honeypunch Kyle as a guest coach for one of these future events.
I have never even thought about it before. I would love that.
Because here's the thing. You're going in there and you're learning stuff going into the ring, but outside the stuff that you could put on to the newcomers, being the veteran that you are, I think you would give some great advice.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And I think so, too. Usually we give each other tidbits as we're training together, but I would be honored.
So... let's see, because people, LFC, and I think the LFC fans would usually like to see Serina Honeypunch Kyle as a guest coach. They think that'd be great.
Yay! Yeah!
So
make it happen.
Make it happen. So, by the way, going back to the nude beach for a second, here's where the pop culture ties in. So here's the funny part about it. All right, so 2004, 5, 2006, one of those, mid-2000s. Like, this is preteen, early puberty for yours truly here. Remember Eurotrip? Obviously, Eurotrip, the movie Eurotrip.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember.
So, nude beach, automatically I think of, a men's nude beach, and there's a bunch of wieners and... So...
yeah, I know when you're talking. I know the scene, yeah.
So, as soon as you said nude beach, I'm like, Eurotrip just popped into my head.
Thanks for that image.
I don't mean to give you that image, but when you think of nude beach in movies, you see wieners galore. That's what you see.
Yeah. No, I live in BC now, man. It's a lot of free love and so many good-looking people here. Good God, you think I'd move to California? Well, I guess it's kind of the California of Canada.
I was about to say, so you're living in the COC, the California of Canada.
Yep.
Now,
it is true.
It is. Now, we got to go back to tattoos for a second, because first and foremost, if there's any event that you kind of should have been on, I know you moved and stuff, but man, LFC 27, sexy, nerdy, inked, and curvy. I mean, hello, Miss Serina Honeypunch Kyle, what's your tattoos? And I got to say this to you because there's a video, and I'll put the links to the LFC YouTube video, but there's a video with you, Jolene, Terry Feisty Fist London, Agatha Cannibal Carter, and a lot of, the girls, and you all are talking about your tattoos, and now I'm a big tattoo guy. I got crosses on me. I got a piece dedicated to my late grandfather. I'm probably going to get one in the future for remembrance of my grandmother, but I got to say, you got some nice...
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you. Now, I know you got some nice pieces. I know you got a back piece. You got stuff on your arms. Can you tell us a little bit about your tattoo work? Because I want to talk some tattoos with you.
Oh, yeah, I got lots. I got totally addicted to it. Well, they're like permanent accessories, and I feel like they make your body more interesting, and they speak to what you like and the kind of person that you are. So I got really into the watercolor. I found a really good artist in Edmonton when I was there, and she did I want to do like a sea-themed sleeve because, I don't know, I've just always had like an affinity to water. And I think sea creatures are very elegant, and they can be deadly at the same time, and it's a good representation of just kind of my soul or how I see myself. So I have a jellyfish, and I have a seahorse, and I have a sea turtle, and I have a palm tree and a lotus, and I got mountains thrown in there that I actually got at a music festival, speaking of hippie. Yeah, I'm gonna keep working on them. It sucks that they're so expensive. So if there's any fans that want to, ink me up, I'll promote you.
Now, there's a back piece too, right? I didn't say that right. Do you have something on your back? It's like some type of writing on your back, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I have some Arabic on my back because I was working. I work with adults with mental handicaps, and one of the ladies that I work with is Arabic, and she just made such a lasting impression on me that when I moved, I wanted to get something special for her done. So I got leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but pictures, and kill nothing but time in Arabic on my back.
First and foremost, that is beautiful.
Thank you. I love it so much.
Okay, we just have to go back for a second as well, because when you were talking about, like, the kickboxing classes and, like, your friends and who you're doing classes with, right? So the word that Serina Honeypunch Kyle was trying to say there was Muay Thai, and it came out Mai Tai. You're not ordering.
I like Mai Tais too. Just saying.
I was about to say we're not ordering drinks here, Miss Honeypunch.
I also like a good Mai Tai. Just saying.
I know what you meant.
Yeah, as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, wait.
It was about, wait a second, you want to get some drinks at this class? You just wanted, like, yeah. What's going on? Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But I have to... All right, another thing I have to mention as far as upworthy news stuff. Like, we actually did see a lot of LFC people at these last few events. We did see a debut of Katie the Bombshell Forbes. Now, for those who don't know who Katie Forbes is, she's seen on Wow Women of Wrestling as Chloe Hertz. She's also the girlfriend of one Rob Van Dam. So we got to see Katie Bombshell Forbes main event against an old familiar face that we've seen in LFC. One Sheila Crash Cardinal made her return for LFC 27, Sexy, Nerdy, Inked, and Curvy.
Yep.
We've seen Genevieve, the Sorceress Hex, come back, formerly Genevieve Serpentine. And I mean, god dang, we've seen some old faces, we've seen some new faces, and one face in particular I want to mention to you, Agatha Cannibal Carter, who made her debut at LFC 25 against Tasia Thrashlocker in the same card that you were on, Serena. So,
yep, I remember.
Agatha Cannibal Carter, who, by the way, is on your team.
Yep.
Took on
I'm aware.
Okay. Took on relative.
We share a change room.
Yes. No, she's still okay. Hey, well, you said to keep you in the loop, so I'm just trying to help you out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I know. I follow you. I follow you.
All right, got me. Follow me. Everything's all right. Uncle Cracker, take it back to 2001. Boom. There it is.
There we go.
So. All right, Agatha Cannibal Carter. She took on a relatively newcomer by the name of Bella Inc. Now, Bella Inc., who's on the black team, made her debut at LFC 26 against Jolene the Valkyrie Hex.
Okay, wait, stop. Bella Inc. was on the black team.
Yes.
Inc. Black. Oh, it's too funny. Sorry, continue. I just had to point that out.
I love you, just the tie-ins and correlations that you just made there.
My brain takes me to some crazy places. That's why we're such good friends.
Yes, so...
Anyways, sorry.
That's okay. All right, so talking about the one and only Miss Bella Inc. So she fought Agatha, who made her return to LFC at LFC 20 and 29. Agatha getting the win over Bella, Bella getting the win over Agatha. So they both traded victories. Yep. Here's the thing, though. In their first bout, like, as you know, Shelly Aphrodite de Silva, she likes to bite, she likes to spit. We covered that. But with the name like the cannibal, she actually bit Bella Inc. on her side. She bit her.
I'm not surprised.
Me either.
She's crazy.
She is. And here's the thing, here's the kicker that happened at the end of that. So there was a little wardrobe malfunction, and I touched upon this with Agatha when I had her on the show. It's a little wardrobe malfunction. And do you know what Agatha said right after she got the win?
Oh, what did she say?
I even did it with my tits out.
She's hilarious. I love it.
She's great. Like, here's the thing about her, because she's so blunt and to the point. Like, when you do a post-match with her, you're not going to get like, oh, it was a great fight. I went in there, I wanted to kick some ass. She just like, because I asked her, how do you feel? She goes, good. Like, she just gave one, like, I feel good. How the hell you think I feel? I just won the damn match.
You know what? That's kind of that reminds me of UFC. Like, that's such a fighter.
Yes, exactly. It's like those UFC where like they're so like intent and they don't even friggin' care. Like, yeah, I just won. How the hell do you think I feel? I beat a man's ass. Yeah. I said what I was gonna do.
I want a bucket of ice cream. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I'd like to ice myself down. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, that's why she's gonna be great going forward. But yeah, Agatha already biting poor Bella Inc. And Bella Inc. is another one very fast on the rise that we're gonna probably see more of in LFC. We saw also new debuts in one Sybil Starr, who is very talented. Gemma Jersey Babe Juliana, which that name right there says it all.
Wow, that rolls off the tongue.
Yes, so Gemma Jersey Babe Juliana, who's of Italian and Ecuadorian descent, made her debut against Sybil Starr. And she's not bad, though.
Good. She has really good taste in wine, just saying.
She does. Okay, first and foremost, I've talked to this woman. She loves her some wine. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, budding friendship.
Yeah, you will like her. She's cool.
I live in wine country now, so...
Yeah, you too.
Speaking of, I'm going to throw this in there for the creators of LFC. Where is our Canadian show? We should get that going on.
That is true. LFC needs to go to Canada, and I've been saying...
I've had a lot of fans who have been requesting it for me, and I'm like, if I could make it happen, I would be.
Well, here's the thing. I've been pushing for some more international shows because Pro Wrestling Tees UK over there has put some shirts out for some of the LFC girls. MMA TV Live, they're streaming some of the LFC events in the UK. I love to see some events in the UK since we did the Slovakia show. I mean, more international, some Canada. Let's make it happen.
Yep. Make it happen. Oh, let's go to Hawaii.
Oh.
It's not really international, but anyways.
No, there's something.
Continue.
No, the old Mahalo, coming in. What are you guys doing? We're going to put on some LFC. We're going to do some MMA. We're going to get in our lingerie, eh?
But I'll never complain about doing shows in Vegas because those are some of the best times I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, first and foremost, for those who've never been to the Sam's Town or have not even seen the vicinity, it's a beautiful vicinity.
Oh, my gosh. Go check it out, please. Even if you don't, like, most people think that Vegas is just for, like, drinking and partying.
Yeah.
I'm doing shows when I'm there. I'm working. I didn't get a chance to party or drink because I was too busy training. And there's so much other stuff going on. Even if you literally just went to walk around and see everything and eat some of the food and jump in some of the pools, it's totally worth it. And, of course, come see us ladies fight.
Of course. First and foremost, I have to say this. If you've not seen the weigh-ins also for LFC, some of the best weigh-ins, like, it hasn't gotten too crazy as bad.
And at the coolest locations, too.
Yeah.
They're always so much fun. And I honestly think that it's probably my favorite part.
The weigh-ins?
Yeah, I have so much fun at them because everybody gets so intense and the glares staring at each other and... I have fun with it anyway.
Well, yeah, you and Danielle had a nice little stare down at LFC 25's way, and I remember that. You had, like, that intense...
There was a staircase. I thought about pushing her over. I'm not going to lie.
First and foremost...
But I'm on the pink team, and I'm not catty like that.
I see that. Well, first and foremost, you were having... Here's how this... First and foremost, I'll also put the LFC YouTube so you guys can check out the LFC 25 weigh-in. It's up there. You just come up there all happy, and, your smiles. Yeah, I'm on the pink team. And then you do the pose, and I'm just like... That face, it's like, you're like a little Ronda Rousey. Like, where did that face come from? Well, she's got
Don't mess with me, man.
Well, you got that little scrunched up kind of face that Ronda does. You know what I'm saying? You make that little scrunched up face.
I've never noticed that before, but now I'm going to have to go back and look at the pictures because I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'll be honest
Good
with
comparison.
it is. Well, you little honey punch there, Miss. I'm sweet like honey, but I throw a hell of a punch. You got the Ronda Rousey face, which is not a bad thing because Ronda Rousey's absolutely amazing. But yeah.
Yeah, let's get her on the show. That'd be sweet.
Oh my god. Well,
I'd like to see her fight somebody.
Here's the thing with though. Here's what I look at that's funny. Like, tell me if you agree with this analogy. So Invicta, which is Shannon Knapp's promotion, like Shayna Baszler and Jessamine Duke, who are now in NXT for the WWE, they're Invicta alumni. Yeah. They went on to wrestling. There's a lot of alumni of theirs that went on to UFC. Pretty much LFC is like Invicta, just with less clothing. It's still women's mixed martial arts. It's intense, but with less clothing.
That's true. And sometimes our clothing has so much going on that it almost looks like it's more.
It does. And I mean, like, first and foremost, your outfits, I think the only one, I don't know if we've talked about this, but I think the only one that you weren't a fan of, didn't you wear like a bright pink lingerie for, there was like one that you weren't like a fan of for like one of them. I remember
my first fight with Danielle, it was like, it looked better when I was trying it on in the store and at home, and then underneath the lights, it just looked, I did not like it at all.
Yeah, because I
hated that one.
I don't think we talked about this like in the times that I've had you on the show, but I think that was
I don't think we have actually.
Yeah, no, but
the white one, that's tough to say. The white one was probably my favorite, or the purple one that I wore with Maxine.
Okay. Well, first and foremost,
tough to say.
Well, you make an entrance. Let's just leave it at that. You make an entrance.
Well, thank you very much. You got to get yourself pumped up. You got to believe in yourself, or nobody else will. You got to do it for yourself,
All right. Now, just, we got to have you come out to Candy by Mandy Moore. I'll get like an instrumental. I don't even care. Like, get an instrumental of Candy and just come out to that song.
That would be pretty funny.
It would be. And first and foremost, I'm going to say this right now. Like, we'll go back to pop culture for a second. But Mandy Moore, even though she like wanted to get away from like that bubblegum pop, that put her on the effing map.
Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta go with it,
I mean, when you could debut in 1999, which I still can't even believe that she was 15. I was 7 years old when that song came out, people. And Mandy Moore was 15, which I still can't believe.
Yeah, that blew my mind, I'm not gonna lie. I did not know that.
Okay, so you're a year older than me. Were you like 8 in 1999?
What do you mean? 1991 is my birthday.
I know, but weren't you 8 years old in 1999?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to make you feel old, but I'm like, yeah. So I'm trying to experience the same moment you do. I'm trying to put us in each other's shoes for a second because we can both attest to that.
That's wild to think about.
It is, but yeah, and like that. And here's the thing, though, too. Mandy Moore, Britney Spears, Jessica Simpson, Christina Aguilera. Those four, their debut albums all around pretty much the same time.
Hey, that's true. Man, you have such a mind for remembering that kind of stuff.
That was my childhood, man. Friggin' stickers and posters and magazines and ordering the records. I
still love stickers. I'm that weirdo that has stickers all over the back of her car.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
I can't help it, and I love it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It makes it interesting.
It's not. I mean, I still got some stickers. I'll be honest with you. All right. Now, I gave this away as a kid, and I know you weren't. Now, you said you weren't a Backstreet Boys fan, right? Were you a fan of any, like, the boy bands, like the NSYNCs and the 98 Degrees and all that?
Oh, yeah, I think I was. I think I really liked NSYNC, actually. And I'm sure, like, when Backstreet Boys came out, I'm sure I liked them then, and then it just slowly, my taste evolved. But I also really liked, like, Nirvana. My dad got me into stuff like that, too, so I was all over the map. Oh, Aqua. I remember me and my mom loved Aqua and Queen. To this day, I still am a huge Queen fan.
I'll send you the episode that I just did with Joe. Oh, wait, I sent you the last episode I did with Jolene. We played...
Yeah.
When you listen to it, you'll hear We Are the Champions at the end. We did play some Queen at the end of that show.
Nice.
So, with Aqua, Barbie Girl. I'm a Barbie Girl in a Barbie world.
Yeah.
Okay, but...
back in the day, man, that's what we jammed to.
We did. And see, I could appreciate that too. Like, your dad got you into Nirvana. My dad, all right, here's the thing about my parents. My mom was all about like the pop and like R&B and all that good stuff, right? My dad was more of the rocker. Not saying my mom didn't like rock, but my dad liked My dad,
exactly the same.
yeah, so my dad was into like the stuff like you hear on Hair Nation on like those Sirius XMs, like with the long hair, like the 80s hair, right? And I'll be
Oh yeah, I be knowing.
okay, so here's the thing I've always said. If you look at a picture of my father from the 80s, he legit looks like he could be like a roadie for a rock band. He had the long
Yeah,
hair.
same with mine. I should show you a picture. He's got a full-blown mullet, so.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of my dad too. So yeah, we'll after the show, send me a picture of your dad. We'll compare and contrast. But yeah, man.
We're weird.
We
I love
are.
it.
I know. But yeah, another thing I got to mention with you is first and foremost, I want to see more of these because we talked about like T-shirts in the UK that I mentioned and MMA TV Live. Yeah. Yo, calendar. You were on. First and foremost, we need another calendar for LFC because I have.
Yes, that was so much fun, and it's honestly, it was such an honor to be put on it, and I felt so privileged, and I was like, wow, this is seriously special, and they spoil us so much. And it's fun getting to see all of us and the things that we like to do. So.
And the thing about the calendar is, first and foremost, everyone had a theme month. Like Danielle Cowbell St. Pierre was doing the Valentine's Day with the flowers and the chocolates. You had your month doing your snowboard thing, which, by the way, came out great. You look great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lauren and Terry did December. Lauren did her thing. Terry did her thing.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like that.
Yeah, and, we had the first ever thing on that because, your girl, first and foremost, before I get to the first ever thing, your girl was in the calendar. Back to school month with Jen, the Real Deal rep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, she slayed it.
She did. But the 3-in-1 month that we had with Andrea, Jesse El Toro Santos, and Ali Baby Doll Parks. So you got 3 on the cover of 1 month.
Yeah, that was super cool. That's what I said. That was probably my favorite, to be honest, out of all of them. And if you don't have it yet, you should, because it's totally worth the money.
It is.
I'm saving mine for forever.
Exactly. But yeah, the calendar came out great. We need another calendar. Feature you again. Feature a lot of the new girls. Have a little mix.
Yeah, we have so many new girls. That would be cool to put them in there.
So, more calendars. It came out great, and I'll put the link to the website again for you guys to purchase. There is a digital copy of the calendar, and then there's the actual calendar itself. So if you want to have it on your phone or hang it up in your house, I'll put the link to the description so everybody can.
You can also buy. I know this is sounds so promoty, but I did it because it's really cool if you get all our DVDs too. There's pictures of all the girls on the DVDs and the covers, and they look so neat stacked up against one another. People always think it's porn. It's a good segue into, no, that's me.
They think it's porn. Jesus. But yes, buy the DVDs. Buy. We're legit. This is
Oh, don't they have T-shirts now too?
Yeah.
I don't have a T-shirt of myself. I should get that done.
The wrestling tees. I'll put everything in there. Oh my god. But yes. Definitely check it all out. And
we may as well just go full bore and get magnets done.
just get some magnets, make some LFC stickers, and just do the whole nine.
Yeah. Oh, stickers, dude. Get that going on.
Come on. But yeah, I think with you, I have to say this first and foremost. I'm even just gonna say this anytime. You already know the invitation's already there to come back on. For real. You and I will do this again.
Oh, yeah, I have so much fun with you. And, just the whole, I feel so honored, and it's been a big part of my life. It's a huge part of my life, and I love it so much. The LFC, you're amazing, and I thank you guys so, so, so much. You've changed my life.
Well, I gotta say thank you for what you've done, because like I said, you're a veteran. You can help out the new girls. You can come back and fight. There's a lot of things for the Honeypunch to do, so personally, I can't wait to see you step back in there.
Thank you. Me either. It's been too long, and I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Yes. Now, I know we've done this in the past, but there's a lot of new girls that are on the come-up in LFC that we've seen on these shows. So I have to ask you, you being a vet that you are, Honeypunch, what advice would you give to the new girls, the new crop of talents that we see coming into Lingerie Fighting Championship?
Honestly, besides picking a super badass outfit, because it makes you feel totally boss in the ring, stretch. Obviously, we all know training is such a key and important part, and I would say look into, everybody's got their specialty and that one kind of martial arts form that they love, or any sort of wrestling thing, but branch out and try different things and try new things because it plays out in the long run, and it really improves who you are as a person and as a fighter.
First and foremost, again, beautifully said. And if you're not checking out, we got new prospects, we've got vets, we've got LFC as a whole. Serina Honeypunch Kyle's exemplifies that. And I'm going to say this to you, a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge here, Miss Serina Honeypunch Kyle. You and all women are a work of art, and you and all women exemplify and accentuate the 3 key elements of beauty, strength, and dominance. So that I will say to you.
And that's why you're a radio man. You get us.
I do. I do. But to close this out, I'm actually going to step back. I'm going to lean back, but I'm not going to do the rock away, to quote Fat Joe. I'm going to lean back, and I'm going to say, promote the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, where people can find them some Serina Honeypunch Kyle. The floor is yours.
Oh, always, always, always. You know, the Lingerie Fighting Championships, their Facebook page, their Instagram. You guys tag me in everything and anything. And, of course, your show. And mostly I just use my Instagram, which is Snowboard Ninja. I know, suits me right. And I love you guys so much. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our fans and for all the people that support us and that makes this happen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have no idea how much we appreciate it. So just keep on keeping on.
And I guess I'll just say this to you. I know you're a little bit more on Instagram. Twitter, put it in there, yay or nay, for the link in the description if you want to give the Twitter out for people to follow you on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter quite as much anymore, but if you want to, it's, oh my gosh, I'll have to take you in it. I honestly forget it right off the top of my head.
Well, guess what?
Goodness gracious.
Guess what, Serina Honeypunch Kyle?
What? You have it there?
I do.
You are on it, always.
So
Brenna Baby 5, isn't it?
God dang, look at this kid right here. You can follow
Brenna Baby 5. There we go.
You can follow Brenna Baby 5 on Twitter.
You got my back.
I do. So I guess all I could say this to you is we touched upon it, and you can add this again since we did the plugs. We talked about a lot of pop culture. We talked about some LFC. We talked about a whole lot of things here, including some nude beaches. But Miss Serina Honeypunch Kyle, do you have any final words for the LFC faithful and the LFC fans?
Oh, just you be you. That's the main thing that we're trying to preach here is you be the best you can be. And as long as you're not hurting anything or anybody else, then you're doing all right by me and by us.
And on that note, I will say this. Guys, stay tuned to the next episode because there's a lot more to come. You don't want to miss it. Don't miss out. Stay tuned. And Serina Honeypunch Kyle, as always, it's a pleasure, and I thank you so much for your time.
The pleasure is mine, and my time is all yours.
So for Serina Honeypunch Kyle, my name is Mike Larkin. I'll talk to you guys soon. Everyone, have a great night. Thank you for listening.